The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
James Golden, Sterling, Princess Diana, and I are going to spend some time talking about the SPLC case. I'm going to play one thing in advance. We are going to talk about this at length with Princess Diana because I have a lot to say and I cannot wait. I've been waiting all week to hear what Princess Diana has to say, but I do want to just sum it up with one news package that I actually thought was an excellent news package because it gave you, in a way, the sides of the argument. It's a 2-minute clip. It's cut 20, Kevin. It's a CBS News package on what happened this week with the SPLC. Folks, this is one of the biggest stories of the year, not because of what it is, but because of what it says about everything concerning race, the media, politics, and the way that hatred is being used and exploited to manipulate the American people. Cut 20, this is CBS News report on the indictment of the SPLC this week.
40 years ago, the Southern Poverty Law Center bankrupted the Klan and later recovered millions from neo-Nazi groups, with lawsuits representing victims of violence. But Tuesday, the tables turned. The Justice Department charged the organization with fraud for allegedly misleading donors and lying to financial institutions by paying members of violent extremist groups millions of dollars to act as informants.
The SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred.
Including, the indictment alleges, a leader of the 2017 Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, who, quote, attended the event at the direction of SPLC, made racist postings under the supervision of the SPLC, and helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. But Law Center interim president Brian Fair said the group had long used informants and called the indictment a political attack by the Trump administration.
They have made no secret of who they want to protect and who they want to destroy.
You have to wonder if this...
Attorney Scott Frederickson questioned the Justice Department's legal theories.
Can the federal government persuade a jury that the Southern Poverty Law Center was out there funding extremism for its own purposes, manufacturing racism? That's hard to believe. Obviously, they'll have their day in court.
But there have been calls to investigate the Law Center for years. In 1995, the Montgomery Advertiser was the finalist for the Pulitzer Prize for articles alleging that the center was misleading donors and wasting their money. And more recently, critics say that its hate watch list of extremists includes many mainstream conservatives. Tony?
Jan, thank you very much.
Now, we're going to explore all of that in depth with Princess Diana a little bit later in the program. I want to touch on some other areas, and yes, we're going to take phone calls, 800-848-9222, but I want to talk about a few other things. Folks, Louisiana has been rocked within recent days. 2 mass shootings. One is this dad killed 7 of his 8 his kids. He killed, I believe it was 7 of his children. And tried to kill the mother. She got away with another of the children. Following that, there was a shootout at a mall in Baton Rouge. The other happened in another part of Louisiana. The shootout was in a mall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There was a death there and just a whole lot. Gang violence apparently may be what it is. 2 cuts, cut 9, actually 3. Cut 9, here's the police chief T.J. Morris speaking at a presser about that event.
Right now,
I'm ready to announce the arrest of Markel Lee. Pictured behind me. Markel is being arrested for first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and illegal use of the weapon. Our detectives worked throughout the night drafting an arrest warrant for Lee's arrest and executing a search warrant at his known residence. Lee turned himself in to BRPD earlier today.
The mayor, Sid Edwards, actually was at the press conference as well. That's cut 10. And the mayor, I thought, had some very poignant remarks as well. Here's Mayor Sid Edwards after this shooting at the mall.
Do not stereotype or pigeonhole or profile all our young people. I spent my entire life ministering to young people as a coach and a teacher. 99% of our young people in Baton Rouge, whether they're black, white, red, blue, Baptist, Catholic, are law-abiding citizens, and they're just out there trying to make it and doing the right thing. So please, we don't need that judgment. We just need your prayers. And I want to end with this. It doesn't seem like it, by how things are written or things are said or what was done. Our officers, the sheriff, BRPD, all our partners, our violent crime, our homicide rate is nearing 20% down in East Baton Rouge Parish in the last 16 months. It just don't feel that way. But just one murder is one too many.
Now, I played that before I played the governor of this state. And I think there are going to be many of you in this audience. Let me just put it on the table. These are black kids involved in this shootout. And I think that was the reason why you get the please don't stereotype, please don't do this from the mayor. And I've been talking about this culture, this street violence, gangbanger, thug mentality culture that has permeated in not an entire generation of, because the mayor was right. Most kids are not doing this. If most kids were doing it, we wouldn't be able to live in this country. However, this mentality is so widespread that it needs to be addressed and corrected. And now, here's the governor, Jeff Landry of Louisiana, with his reaction, which I think echoes the reaction of many of you of what we're seeing from this culture. And I'm not defining this culture, by the way, by race. It is a culture of mentality. Here's Jeff Landry.
This is the kind of violence that we end up with when we engage in those kinds of policies. And I'm asking the legislature to go back and look at the laws. In fact, people that go into common places and decide to engage in that kind of violence, we should put them away for life. I'm done with them. It doesn't matter how old they are. Somebody has failed. It's not the government's job to raise these people. It's common sense not to go into a public space with a gun and start shooting around blindly. We got 18,000 acres at Angola. And if it's up to me, I'd send them all there for the rest of their lives. Next.
Damn right. It's not the government's job to raise your kids. It's common. You don't go into a mall shooting anything. I don't care whether they're teenagers. It's time to stop coddling these criminals. I love this guy. We got 18,000 acres in Angola. If it was up to me, I'd put them all there. Jeff Landry's a little bit hot. You know what I pulled out today, folks? In response to all this stuff that I'm so sick of from the left, I pulled out some Malcolm X. I don't know whether we're going to get to it, but I pulled some Malcolm X up. I had to. I'm like, man, let me go find Malcolm X talking about liberals and Democrats. I don't know how many of you in this audience ever listened to Malcolm X back in the day. This was back in the days when it was Negro. This was before it became black, and then after it became, well, no, let me see if I remember it. It went from Negro to black then to African American, then back to black, and then Afro American, and then black, and then I get lost. But this was back in the days of Negro, when Malcolm X was out. So we have some Malcolm X cuts for you, maybe. I want to get to a few other things very quickly. Rosie O'Donnell. We're switching gears all over the place here, folks. Just stay with me. Stream of consciousness stuff going on here. Rosie O'Donnell, cut 12, had this to say about the billionaire class in the United States. Before we play, just a brief note. Bernie Sanders, who just did the oligarchs tour with AOC, railing against billionaires, his group just endorsed a billionaire to be the next governor of California, Tom Steyer. Bernie Sanders, anti-billionaire, Mr. They're all bad oligarchs, the billionaire oligarchs, the oligarch billionaire, they endorsed a billionaire, Tom Steyer, environmentalist wacko billionaire, to become the next governor of California. The California debates were this week. We don't have time for it today. I covered that during the week. Anyway, here's Rosie O'Donnell. Cut 12.
I think with the praise of billionaires and everybody thinking that's a great thing to be a billionaire, it should be embarrassing to be a billionaire. It should be embarrassing to have the ability to help society and choose not to. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand. How much can you have?
It should be, I forgot, thank you. Lady Benedict reminded me, in the lineup, there were the people of color, and that still goes on too. So with Negro, Afro-American, black, African-American, people of color, black.
And now there's BIPOC, right? BIPOC? Black, indigenous, people of color. Isn't that what it is now?
What the?
I think that's the preferred nomenclature now.
Thank you.
Not to get all politically correct on
No,
you,
no, it's all the black, indigenous, people of color.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we got Malcolm X back in the Negro days. We're gonna play some. We're gonna have to play some. We're gonna have to play some Malcolm X today. Hey, Rod, you ever listen to Malcolm X? Did you ever have a chance to listen to Malcolm X talk about politics? Are you familiar with anything Malcolm X said about politics?
I mean, I've heard quite a few different speeches on Malcolm X, and the funny, ironic thing about Malcolm X is we are born on the same day.
You and Malcolm share a birthday?
May 19th.
Yo, brother, we're going to have to hook up some Malcolm for you. All right, anyway, before we do that, let me just comment on this Rosie, you should be embarrassed to be a billionaire. They don't do anything. Rosie O'Donnell, how do you think they became billionaires? Most of them. They became billionaires from what they do that benefits society. And society loved what they do so much, whether it's putting up grocery stores, whether it's opening up retail stores, whether it's inventing stuff like cars that are better than other cars, whatever it is that they have offered to society. They have created jobs. They've created industries. They create and they achieve, and that's how they become billionaires. It would help if some of these Hollywood types actually learn something about economics 101. People make money based on what besides inherited money. People that make money from what they do for society. That's how they get it. So to say, I would be embarrassed if I was a billionaire. Well, damn it, I wouldn't be embarrassed at all if I earned billions of dollars. I'd be very happy about it. We got to take a break. See, I talked myself out of another segment. Saturday morning, have a cup of coffee with us, please. Or do you know, Kevin, what is the number 2 commodity? The number 2 commodity in the entire world?
I'm going to take a context clue here and say coffee.
Yes.
Or
you
tobacco.
got the context clue. It is, I don't know what, I got to go back. Coffee is the number 2 commodity, the second most bought and sold product in all of the world is coffee. And I'm going to have a sip of it. And then we're going to get back to this. 800-848-9222. It is the Saturday morning extravaganza, the Saturday morning vibe.
The James Golden Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.